Remember when the Las Vegas Raiders defense was ranked number 1 in the NFL during the second half of 2023? Unfortunately, they couldn't replicate that success last year due to a string of injuries. To have a shot at winning this year, they need to get back to that level. Head coach Pete Carroll emphasizes the importance of running the ball and playing strong defense, so it's clear he relies on it. That's why keeping the defense intact during free agency was crucial. The Raiders scored a big win by retaining Patrick Graham as their defensive coordinator. They also managed to keep most of their key defensive players. For those they lost, they quickly found replacements with similar skills at a lower cost. In fact, these new players might even outperform the ones they replaced after Graham coaches them up. If they can stay healthy, the Raiders are set to have a solid defense this year. Let's start with one of their key players, safety Isaiah Pola-Mao. He's on his way to becoming a star. After being drafted in 2022, he worked his way up from the bottom, earning more playing time each year. When Marcus Epps got injured last season, Pola-Mao stepped up and took on the starting role, impressing everyone so much that the Raiders signed him to an extension. In 14 starts, he recorded 89 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 1 sack, 5 pass breakups, and 1 interception. While those stats are impressive, they don't capture all the times he made big hits to prevent completions. His versatility is a huge asset. He can cover the back end as a single high safety, defend against the run, and even blitz. Although he hasn't faced opposing tight ends one-on-one in the NFL yet, he showed he could do it in college. He has developed enough to earn his starting role, and I expect him to keep improving. This kid is just getting started. Not long after keeping Pola-Mao, the Raiders made another smart move by re-signing interior defensive lineman Adam Butler. He played a significant role in improving the pass rush during the second half of 2023. His push up the middle kept Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes on his toes. The Raiders figured out how to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs back in 2023. And the Philadelphia Eagles later had the personnel to execute that plan in the Super Bowl. Last year, the Raiders also brought in Christian Wilkins to strengthen their interior rush. Unfortunately, Adam Butler suffered a torn ACL after just 5 games, ending his season early. When free agency began this year, I worried he might leave for a big payday elsewhere. But thankfully, he's still a Raider. With Butler and Christian Wilkins returning from injury, the Raiders now have 2 interior defensive linemen who will demand double teams. This will allow Max Crosby and the other edge rushers to thrive. I can't wait to see how the Chiefs handle this when they face the Raiders this year. I'm also thrilled that Malcolm Kay is still one of the edge rushers. He proved he can break through one-on-one blocks to get to the quarterback. With Max Crosby on one side and Butler and Wilkins inside, he's going to see a lot of favorable matchups. It didn't work out with former head coach Antonio Pierce, but we have to give him credit for bringing Kuhn off the bench and starting him. Kuhn racked up 8 sacks in the second half of 2023, played the run well, and was a key reason why the defense finished number 1 during that stretch. We all had high hopes for him in 2024, but unfortunately, he tore his ACL just before the season started, so he didn't play at all that year. The silver lining is that he got injured early enough to be ready for the start of this season. With Crosby, Butler, Wilkins, and the rest of the team, the Raiders are well prepared in the crucial trenches for 2025. The Raiders did lose Kayvon Chaisson, but most of the key players are back. I'm also excited to see what Tyree Wilson can do in his 3rd year as a first-round pick from 2023. One of the significant losses for the Raiders was linebacker Robert Spain, who signed with the New England Patriots. They had plenty of salary cap space going into free agency, so they overpaid him with a 3-year deal worth $37.5 million. I like Spain, but that's a hefty price for him. Robert Spain was a solid run stuffer, and defensive coordinator Patrick Graham managed to make him decent in pass coverage. So, yes, $37.5 million is quite a lot for him. The interesting part is that the Raiders replaced him with someone very similar, Landon Roberts. Roberts is known as one of the best linebackers in the league against the run, but he's not exactly stellar in pass coverage. Just like Graham made Spain serviceable in coverage, he should be able to do the same with Roberts. In fact, he might even improve Roberts' coverage skills because Roberts is a better athlete, running a 4.64 in the 40-yard dash compared to Spain's 4.77. Plus, Roberts is a bigger hitter, and while Spain could hit hard, Roberts brings a different level of physicality. It's almost like the Raiders got Denzel Perryman back with that kind of speed. He should be better equipped to cover receivers deep down the middle when the Raiders are in a cover 3 scheme. While Spain was a significant loss, bringing in Roberts helped soften the blow. Then there's fellow linebacker Devin Diablo, who signed a 2-year deal worth $14 million with the Atlanta Falcons. I think he got overpaid too. He was good at blitzing and decent against the run and in coverage, but $14 million for 2 years seems excessive. While he was a starter, I wouldn't necessarily call this a major loss. Since the preseason of 2024, I believed his replacement was already on the team. I've been eager to see undrafted free agent Amari Gaynor get a chance ever since I first saw him play. He looked impressive in the preseason, and the Raiders found ways to get him on the field for a few plays in a couple of games. Gaynor has the speed and agility of a will linebacker, along with the physicality of a Mike linebacker to take on offensive linemen in the running game. I'm speculating here, but after developing him and giving him some game time last year, Gaynor could be the one to step in for Diablo. Doesn't that sound better than paying Diablo $7 million a year? I can't wait to see if Gaynor can take the job and run with it this year. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. Another significant loss for the defense was Trevon Moehrig. He did a little bit of everything for the Raiders in 2024, racking up 4 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 12 pressures, a sack, 10 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. He even managed to lock down a few tight ends in one-on-one coverage. He was finally starting to show us why he won the Jim Thorpe Award in 2020, before joining the Raiders as a second-round pick in 2021. Unfortunately, he showed that talent to the Carolina Panthers now. The Carolina Panthers were willing to overpay Trevon Moehrig to bring him on board, giving him a 3-year deal worth $51 million. That's a hefty price tag. You all know I like Moehrig, but not for $17 million a year. He was quickly replaced by Jeremy Chinn, another versatile safety. In 2024, Chinn recorded 117 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 2 sacks, 5 pass breakups, and an interception. He's a bit better in the box against the run and hits harder than Moehrig. While Moehrig excels in one-on-one coverage, Chinn has improved in that area too. With Graham coaching him, Chinn could get even better. He runs a 4.45 in the 40-yard dash compared to Moehrig's 4.52. Now, there's a bit of a question mark regarding slot cornerback Amik Robertson, who walked in free agency and signed a 4-year deal worth $48 million with the Green Bay Packers. That's a lot of money, especially considering the games he's missed throughout his career. The real question is, who will the Raiders replace him with? Darnay Holmes filled in for him when Robertson was injured, but he's not currently on the team. This is just speculation, but I think Jack Jones could cover slot receivers. He played some in Robertson's absence, so the Raiders might consider picking up Eric Stokes in free agency to play outside and move Jones inside to the slot. Jones has done a great job covering tough slot receivers, and I'd love to see him match up against guys like Ladarius McLeod. He has the agility and athleticism to keep up, but he needs to embrace the physical side of the position, especially when opposing teams run the ball at him. At around 180 pounds soaking wet, he'll need to be ready for contact. Given his coverage skills, he should get the first shot at the slot position. I was eager to see if the Raiders' defense could replicate their success from the second half of 2023 into 2024, but injuries got in the way. Now, I'm excited to see if they can do it in 2025. They started the offseason strong by re-signing Graham, and then they brought in Polamalu, who I can't wait to see in action. They've also solidified the trenches by bringing back Butler and others to join Crosby and Wilkins. Even the free agent losses have been replaced with players who have similar skill sets, so there shouldn't be any drop-off. The only position I have questions about is the slot corner. However, I feel good about the possibility of picking up Stokes so Jones can move inside. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.